one is saying that Tony Stark, Iron Man, isn't cool, he's extremely cool and extremely capable. But in a universe teeming with magic, aliens, and gods, sometimes Stark tech just ain't gonna cut it. I'm Adam Andrews with Top 10 Nerd, and today we're talking about the top 10 superhero suits stronger than Iron Man. Kicking off the list at number 10 is Spawn. Of all the super suits, Spawn's may be one of the coolest. Spawn wears a living symbiotic costume called Letha of the 7th House of K, or K7 Letha. Unlike a symbiote though, Al Simmons dominates the suit instead of it trying to call the shots. But that doesn't mean the suit can't help him out. The shroud, spikes, chains, and skulls on the suit are all part of the organism that is the suit, and it's all bonded to Al's central nervous system. So the suit itself will protect Spawn even in the rare occasion that he is knocked unconscious. The costume is powered and feeds on the necroplasm inside of Spawn's body. Now, I know that sounds like a bad thing, but Al is totally able to draw this energy back to him when he needs it, using it to power his abilities without draining his own reserves. What's really cool is that K7 Letha can also feed off the ambient evil energy of people, animals, and even certain parts of cities. For example, Detroit, New York City, Los Angeles, etc, etc. As most people know, Al does have great magical power, but that power does have a limit. So, for the most part, Al relies on the suit's augmentation of his physical power, plus its ability to shapeshift. The suit can manifest spikes, armor plating, and the shroud itself is a really effective offensive tool, able to strike with extreme precision. He has used it to sever limbs, disarm enemies, and he has even transformed the shroud into a super sweet battle axe. Number 9. Blue Beetle. There have been many Blue Beetles over time, and as they shifted, so did the technology that they use. But unlike Dan Garrett or Ted Kord, Jaime Reyes managed to bond with the Blue Beetle scarab, which provided him with the suit that he wears, and it is sick. Similar to Spawn, Jaime's suit is also sentient and symbiotic, but it's pretty damn dangerous. It has the power to completely destroy a planet, and that's what it was intended to do. But thankfully, those who have been in possession of it have been able to override this prime directive and use its power for good. Although the scarab can and will act of its own accord, like when Jaime has been knocked unconscious, like Spawn, or even when Jaime has been mind controlled. Normally, it just kind of does what Jaime tells it to do. With such powerful tech, the Beetle can hold his own against the likes of a Green Lantern, since its power cuts through Green Lantern energy projections, and it can even take on Superman, creating kryptonite weapons to counter Kryptonian physiology. That's because the suit can create tools to fight against whatever threat it happens to be facing, while also shielding Reyes from any attacks from those same sources. It also looks pretty dope compared to the other Blue Beetles and Iron Man himself, so that's a plus. Number 8. The Powers International Batsuit. Coming to us from Batman Super Heavy by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, the mechanized Batsuit taking up our slot today is the GCPD's answer to what they can do when Batman himself is no longer around. In his place, Jim Gordon was chosen to step in as the new Caped Crusader, but of course, Jim isn't Bruce, and so the GCPD Batsuit compensates for his lacking level of combat training. The suit itself was designed by Powers International and features electrified batarangs, thermal sonic arm cannons, caped-shaped bomb shield, digital camouflage, thermal detection vision, multi-response missile pods, and a built-in EKJ/defibrillator/ambulatory response system. That's a lot! The suit also doubles as a backup, operating somewhat autonomously on a nimble auto program, giving the suit enough combat know-how to effectively wield a pair of sharks as melee weapons. What even is that? Also, unlike Iron Man, this suit looks like Batman, which is obviously a positive. Number 7. Darkhawk. Not enough people talk about Darkhawk. A lot of people don't even know who this hero is, and that's ridiculous because he is dope. Even in his regular suit of armor, Darkhawk is pretty powerful compared to Iron Man. The suit has the ability to literally travel through time, which we know that Tony's couldn't hope to even attempt, except for in the MCU. He's actually probably totally capable of time travel, but this is just a part of Darkhawk's base suit. The Darkhawk suit is advanced Shi'ar technology meshed with magic, which does a hell of a lot. Other than augmenting physical attributes, it can manifest offensive and defensive tools and is capable of traveling through space. Similar to Iron Man, Darkhawk has a few different versions of his suits with different capabilities, but one of the best Darkhawk pieces of armor was his Infinity Countdown suit, which looked cooler than the original, but it actually looks a little bit more like a mech, and it had to have the power to take down Geyer's army of raptors. heroes. Such an underrated hero with such an awesome suit. Number 6. Steel. When Superman fell at the hands of Doomsday, it was kind of a huge deal. In his place, a whole handful of heroes and even villains came in to try and fill the gap. One of them was the Man of Steel, Dr. John Henry Irons, or as we know him now, just Steel. When Superman was about to be taken off the board by Doomsday, Irons grabbed a big old sledgehammer and tried to fight the monster before being buried under a pile of rubble. Superman's sacrifice and the fact that he saved John motivated John to make a heroic mantle in honor of Superman, crafting his own supersuit. Steel's power armor grants him a variety of abilities that enable him to be an effective Superman, and that factor alone puts the suit on a higher level than Iron Man. It just does. But besides the flight, strength, and endurance, kind of the most impressive piece of Steel's arsenal is his smart hammer. This hammer is so cool. It hits harder the further it is thrown, it can fly, and it can seek out the weak points of a target thanks to an onboard computer guidance system. It's almost like Mjolnir, but not magical. Number 5. Black Panther. You may not immediately think of Black Panther when thinking of powerful suits, and I think that's because the Wakandan technology in it is so advanced and stylistic that it's easy to forget that it even has those technologies in the first place. The obvious difference between Iron Man's armor and Black Panther's Panther habit is that one is made of vibranium, which is stronger than almost any other material, but its strength is just part of the benefit. It can also absorb, store, and release kinetic energy, giving it quite a bit more power material-wise than Tony's suits. That's because Iron Man's armor is traditionally made out of nickel titanium alloy, and that's pretty strong, I guess, but nothing compared to vibranium. Black Panther's iconic suit, on the other hand, is extremely resilient, and the material actually helps act as both a protectant and as a weapon. But then there are all the extra goodies. The lenses in the mask cut glare and enhance the Panther's natural night vision, and allow him to see in infrared and other visual spectrums. The claws can break down other metals on the molecular level. It has energy dampening boots, disguise and teleportation technology, and as most of us know from the MCU, it can release basically a force push, which is always cool. Number 4, the Hellbat suit. So we all know Batman is just a dude in a batsuit. He has to use his ingenuity and skill to defeat threats that metahumans can face one-on-one, but when the threat is too great, the metahumans he works with on the daily help him out. Enter the Hellbat suit. In Batman and Robin number 33 by Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason, the Hellbat is the Justice League's gift to Batman. The Hellbat suit was actually forged by Superman inside of the sun. The Hellbat armor allows Batman to fly, run at super speed, while also boosting up his strength and durability. It comes with adaptive camouflage, a unibeam style energy blast, and a shape-shifting cape that turns into bats when it's ripped off. Obviously though, it has to have a downside, or there's no reason Bruce wouldn't wear it all the time. And that downside is that the suit slowly drains Bruce Wayne's life force and would actually put him in the grave if he wore it for too long. There's always a catch. Number 3, the Destroyer armor. To call the Destroyer a suit feels almost wrong. It's more like a robot, but at the same time, various characters have technically inhabited the armor, but with their souls, which become overridden with the Destroyer's sole purpose of battle and destruction. I could be wrong, but I don't believe there are any moments where a person physically inhabits the suit in the 616 continuity, but if there is, let me know in the comments down below. The Destroyer is extremely powerful and was created out of an unknown metal by Odin that was even stronger than Uru metal and stored various gods' energies, making it a level of magical power that exceeds almost any technological suit. I mean, the thing was created in order to battle the Celestials, so on that statement alone, it far exceeds most of Tony's suits. Most. I say most. In his normal suits, Tony really struggles to take on Asgardians, and he's been pummeled by Thor way too many times to count. That being said, the Destroyer has pummeled the Helheim out of Thor so many times. The Destroyer has been able to tank hits from Odin himself, and he made the thing. Number 2, the Justice Buster. Another Batman suit. Sorry. In the Endgame story, the Joker has twisted the other members of the Justice League with his Joker toxin, meaning we get to see Batman take them all on. While we know Bruce has contingencies for each member of the League, Batman instead in this story dons an armor that has the capability to subdue every single main member of the Justice League, the Justice Buster armor. Using this suit, or I guess it's better to call it a mechanized armor, Batman puts Wonder Woman in a dream state, maps out the Flash's movements, and causes him him to slip and crash into a building, knocking him out. He fires a foam made up of magnesium carbonate at Aquaman that envelops him and drains him of the moisture in his body the more he struggles, and then Superman shows up. The Justice Buster has plasma shields to deflect eye beams, thrusters and thermals to deter frost breath, but this is a Superman that isn't pulling his punches. When Superman gets through this armor, it doesn't actually matter though. Batman spits a polymer laced with green kryptonite dust into Superman's eyes, rendering him completely powerless. Batman. And finally, in at number 1, it's Apocalypse's celestial armor. Being one of the first mutants on the planet Earth with the ability to manipulate his own molecular structure, En-Sabanur, or Apocalypse, is an extremely powerful villain in Marvel Comics. But that was before his run-ins with Celestials. His original ability to control his molecular structure was augmented by Celestial technology, but then further enhanced through the celestial armor he wears to make him the evolutionary caretaker. This armor comes with a title, and that's pretty cool. Other than titles and really cool celestial systems, the armor gives him some other abilities he wouldn't normally possess, like teleportation, the ability to mentally link with and control almost any kind of tech and machinery, celestial energy shields and blasts, and most importantly, the armor pushes his own abilities even further, allowing him to grant himself almost any superpower he wants. It's nuts. A suit created by Celestials is just going to rival almost anything that Tony Stark can come up with. Almost anything. But that's the end of the list. I'm Adam Andrews, this is Top 10 Nerd, and we will catch you all on the Flippy Flop. Peace out, nerds.